I'd like to begin by recognizing every single one of you individually and collectively. This is an unstoppable moment, but I'd like also to give a special shout out to the President of Poland, who has made time to be with us here today. Thank you. A year ago, in a conversation with Strive Masiwa, we were talking about how to make the best of an opportunity of the largest global gathering annually here in New York, and how to make sure that Africa's voice was heard, speaking to its narrative, its pathway, its aspirations, and we talk about Africa rising and the world will rise, the world will fly. And in that moment, Gabby was born. It was born to bring our voices together from different constituencies, not just our governments, because our governments are there for the day, but business, the private sector, such an important part of the heartbeat of Africa, and in particular young people, young women. And last year showed us how we could do that in such a short time. We brought ourselves together, and the demand was to do it again this year. And for that, we know that in the UN, if we're going to talk about Africa, the leadership on the continent comes from our institution, the African Union. And the African Union Commission is the drumbeat of what we do together in our partnership with them at the UN, and work that is across our 54 countries. And every day we rise to the conflicts, we rise to the realities that are not so good for that over 1 billion people on the continent that we have to serve. But we also rise to knowing the potentials, and we fight every day to close that gap between the reality and the aspirations of every African child, woman, man. And so Unstoppable Africa will be unstoppable because the leadership in Africa is taking on the helm. We're talking about all the things that are not so good, but we're also talking much more together about the things that can happen. That leadership in the African Union Commission is our chair of the African Union Commission, His Excellency Musa Mohammed Faki. And without his leadership, his wisdom, his courage every day to get up and to try to herd 54 heads of state and government, I can tell you that's not mean feat, no mean feat at all, but to bring us together here for the second year and really speak to the continent's aspirations, the leadership, what we expect from everyone here is really my deep honor and pleasure. I hope that the next 2 days will create more connections amongst us, will give more value to the things that we don't often hear about, but we will hear about, to the partnerships that we want that must be genuine and must be there for the long haul. There are no quick fixes for anyone, and certainly not for the continent of Africa. But we've already charted that way, Agenda 2063, and I'll tell you, we have a 10-year plan which aligns itself with Agenda 2030, and this is a week that we bring the world together to say, how are we doing on the SDGs? We're not doing very well, but because of Africa, we will close that gap and we will make and deliver the promises of both Agenda 2030 and Agenda 2063.